I can reply to you automatically like that. And I can tell you, oh, you did that. I whatever.
Yeah.
Or I can just take a deep breath, wait 5 seconds, and then see what comes up. If I'm coming from a place of I'm feeling comfortable with myself and comfortable enough to look into your eyes in intimacy, into me, you see, then I find it very beautiful and interesting. And that's why we're living for, just to have these experiences and to learn. If you're able to change some things in that small stage of life that's called psychodrama or group dynamic, you will be able to copy it to your real life. And to start and to make action in real life because you practice on it. It's like try to go and to do handstand one day. You cannot. You need to practice again and again and again. They felt that I'm not supporting them and I did this on purpose. And how did you do it? And I was like,
join the journey, stay for a while.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Copencast, the official podcast of Copenhagen Island. And this week with me, my good friend Eviatar Azran. Eviatar is a psychodrama teacher. Eviatar is a co-ninja teacher for young kids, a mentor for young kids. We sit and talk about allowing your vulnerability to come outside, your authenticity, some physical practices to how to be more comfortable with yourself outside of your comfort zone, and just a pure conversation about being a human and allowing your vulnerabilities to come out and shed light on your surroundings. Before we get to the conversation, most of you guys are still not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about this conversation, and let's get into it. Copencast. Enjoy the episode, guys. Eviatar,
hey,
how are you, brother?
I'm great.
So I've been knowing you for a while now, and this conversation was planned for probably like 4 to 5 months.
For a decade.
Yeah. And usually when I get to a conversation that I'm trying to book again and again and again, it means that there is something there for me also. And I'm really glad to have you here. And honestly, if I can give you some compliments, if you're good at getting compliments, I think you're one of the more free people I know, because the energy is always flowing and there's always a new insight to be had from you. And like, I remember a lot of conversations that we had, you and I, that really changed the perspective and, you know, making me a little bit more compassionate to myself. And it's not about like learning something new, like it's a reminder of things that we already know. And I want to thank you again for you being yourself and
Thank
you
you
being here. And for the people out there that does not know you, 30-40 seconds. Who is Eviatar?
Wow, who is Eviatar? There are many Eviatar, basically. The way I see it is that we are living between a lot of identities. And I have a lot of identities, of course, roles. We call it in psychodrama. We will get into it. My name is Eviatar. I was born in Israel. Originally, I'm from Israel. What can I share about myself? I'm working here on the island. I have been living here in Thailand since the past 3 years. My work is psychodrama. I'm facilitating psychodrama, individuals and groups. It's my passion. And I'm a simple human being. So I have a background in movement. I'm a ninja instructor. I work with kids. I work with adults. Sometimes investments.
Beautiful 40 seconds.
Beautiful.
And before we get to what you teach, let's start at where you learned. Like, I want to take you a little bit back. Like, I know you as one of the more like positive and kind persons that, you know, I met like last couple of years. And I want to know where you came from. Like, tell me a little bit about your childhood, growing up. Like, were you always into this psychodrama and like movement and like being free as a kid also?
That's an interesting question. I was born and raised in, basically in a village in Israel, and I'm the youngest brother out of 3 brothers, and I always wanted to get attention in a certain way from my parents, but they didn't have time that much. So my brothers, they were the one who grew me up, basically. So I feel that I was growing up into a mid-average family that is having a goodwill and some tools to I lost it for a moment.
It's all good.
Yes.
It's all good. It's not even
Can
about...
you repeat the question?
It's not even about what I asked. It's more about
repeat
like
the question?
How do you remember yourself as a kid?
How do I
You know,
remember?
like,
Okay.
where do you see,
That's
what
more
kind of
specific.
traits you see that you grew up on that you still have right now with you? You know what I mean?
I think so. So I grew up as a kid who likes a lot of sports, who likes to be very curious, who likes to be spontaneous, who likes to just not to go on the ethical path, who likes to explore new things, who likes to try to share how he feels in a connected way, although the reflection that he sees from reality, from the family, is not the same. It means that I feel that some people or all of us as kids, we grew up to a certain family, to a certain structure with parents that try to give us everything that they can with the tools that they had on that time. And that affected on us as adults these days. I see it as a kid who's carrying the adult, by the way, not as
Me too.
Yeah, and that's how we grew up, and that led us to, for example, that led me, the relationship that I saw at home, it led me to be a therapist, to be someone who helps people to explore themselves and to help them to share how they feel or to know how they feel, to just be more present, I would say.
Do you think, like, as little kids, like, because I'm trying to think about it at on myself, you know, like, we think, okay, we wanted to draw more attention from our parents and from our surroundings, but why does a little kid, like, and I'm not asking you specifically on yourself, but generally, why do you think, like, does a kid, like, wants to get attention based on a lack of attention that it feels like, I mean, when you have your parents, like, not ignoring, but giving you less attention than you think you need, then you will naturally try and get a little bit more of them, of this attention.
I think we all as human beings, we want to be seen. Yeah. We want to be seen in a certain way. We want to be appreciated. And it's very tricky. I think there is a thick line in the understanding of if I want to be seen and how it makes me feel, or maybe I don't need to be seen and I can receive that type of feeling without being seen from the outside. I find it very tricky to be aware to it and to actually, with practice and action, to create that reality. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So let's say I used to be a theater actor back then in Israel, and I used to play on stages, and I received like claps from the crowd, and I received like back then good feedback, how you act, and it made me feel in a certain way of appreciated.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if I will appreciate myself in that way, in that volume, I think I would need to receive it from the out reality, and then the story start to change. And that's interesting, I think.
So we're diving straight into it, but in this kind of way, like, do you think it's even a possibility to, like, give yourself enough of this attention for you to not need it from outside? Like, why, like, not even why, I kind of understand it myself, but, like, there is something about outside validation that sometimes it's like tickle a point that the validation that you give yourself sometimes cannot bring.
Of course, it's like it's so rooted in our DNA. Imagine when you were a child, you needed the support, you needed the attention from your mom, from your parents. So the whole time something happens, mom, help, to be seen, help. We needed help in order to survive, you know, back then, to even eat. But right now, not sure that we really need it, but we love to have it.
Yeah.
It makes us feel something, we feel.
Maybe we do have something inside ourselves that tells us we need it.
Maybe,
while...
yeah, definitely. It can be thoughts. It's like waves in the oceans.
And it's kind of like, you know, the duality that we get to experience in this world. Like, it's just the two sides of, okay, the constant line between, is it like, don't get enough, or is it too much, like, of the attention? Like, sometimes even for people that, like, you and I, that we are really like attention. It is what it is. You know, we are very like the characteristics of us, like we're out there doing things. Like, do you find yourself ever getting too much attention? Like, do you find yourself ever like closing down a little bit when you get too much attention of someone?
It happened to me once, actually. That's an interesting story. Once back then, there was a TV show called New Love in Israel, and came to me one day on the beach. I used to practice. I used to do breakdance on the beach, and one of the girls came to me and she told me, "Hey, there is a new show on TV. Would you like to join?" And I was like, "No, I'm not interested." After 1 week, came another girl from the organization, and she told me, "Would you like to join a new show?" And I said, "No, I don't want." Third time, came to me someone on Instagram and wrote me a message, and then I said, "Okay, reality mirrors to me something back. Let's see." Then I passed all the auditions and I got into the top 3 men out of thousands of men, 10,000, I don't know, much more. And I proved to myself that I can achieve these places in my life. It gave me, it didn't give me so much, to be honest. I just proved to myself, but I wanted to find an inner answer or something about myself, I guess, or to show the world a different perspective or a different man. But that was very overwhelming. In the end, I didn't choose to continue, but I was on TV. And then that was really overwhelming. Like, I felt that I need my privacy. I love my privacy. So there is a certain volume, I would say, of how much I want to be seen out in the reality.
Yeah.
And how much I would like to keep my own privacy and to just...
It's a very delicate balance. And like, if I can, you know, pick a little bit more into this subject, like, okay, so you are on TV, the reality show, you know, like, I don't know what it is about humans, but the moment you're on TV or whatever, suddenly you become more attractive, or it is what it is. But like, how is it like having so much attention? I assume from, you know, random messages on your DMs and whatever. Tell me about this experience.
On that day, I remember it reminds me, I was sitting with a friend of mine in Tel Aviv. We were having a dinner. Suddenly my phone rings and my mom tells me, "You're on TV. Go on TV." And I open the TV and I see the character that I acted there. It means in psychodrama, we call it a role. So I was in a certain role and they were editing it in a certain way that actually I liked it. But still, I didn't feel so much connection to that role. And I saw it in front of me. It was like mirroring another part of me. And then I just received hundreds of messages from girls. "Hey, do you want to meet? Hey, let's hang out. Hey, I saw you." And then I was like, okay, let's put the phone on the side. I don't really like it. It's too much a little bit. And then I became introvert, from very extrovert to introvert for half an year, because I was like, whoa, now everyone saw me.
Yeah.
I was seen.
Here's the attention you want.
Here we go. But it's not that type of attention that I needed.
Yeah.
I just flowed. Reality gave me opportunity. I said, let's flow. Let's see. If I'm supposed to be there, then I will be. And then I arrived to the top. And then I realized, no, I don't want to be. But I tried. I gave it a try to understand myself, or if it has any meaning to me, you know, to be there, to arrive to that place and to be seen. Okay, everyone sees me. I'm successful. I'm lighted, whatever. And then what? What's the story?
Exactly.
And then, so I think this is not the main story to be seen, but it's a big part of each one of us.
It feels like each and every one of us has like 80 or 90% of our dreams are acquired from outside, from society, like being in a reality, being on TV. The fact that you're doing like that.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Like, it's not the fact that someone was on TV or like got whatever, like, the fact that we all look at it like as this, you know, as a higher thing, that society tells us what to think and how to act, you know, because, okay, I know, I don't know them, but like there's a lot of like reality shows and like people that were on TV that when people go look for them after like 5, 6, 7 years, they see how devastated the same people are, because what they thought they wanted is not what they really needed. And the fact that something tells us in our mind that this is the type of attention that we want, and then some people like yourself get to experience it in reality, and you have the understanding that like, oh wait, the fact that I thought I wanted it does not mean that I did. which kind of led you from being, like you say, an extroverted to introverted for half a year, kind of put you in a little cave.
I think it's all starting in our childhood in a certain way. And the way I see it today is that if I want to have any attention, I bring awareness to that place and I try to understand what type of attention I need, how it looks like, who needs to give it to me, or maybe I should give it to myself. And most of the time, when I bring this awareness into myself, or maybe there is another role that comes up and tells me something from a side, then I understand things much more easy. And then I can reflect back to reality something more present, something more aware. For example, let's say you are going to trigger me, all right? You're going to say something.
And I will.
And you will, I know you will, in a certain style, and then I will be triggered. I can reply to you automatically like that, and I can tell you, oh, you did that, I whatever.
Yeah.
Or I can just take a deep breath, wait 5 seconds, and then see what comes up. To see what is coming up, which identity. I speak a lot about identities and roles, by the way, because a part of me sees it as this is the reality. I speak with you as a friend. I speak with you as the one who's doing podcasts. I speak with you as the son. I can see the inner child in you. I can see so many roles that you're having, I saw you once even in relationship. No. And that's the beauty of it, because it's not about to analyze who you are right now or how can I speak with you. It's just to be. Just to discover all the beings that we are experiencing in this reality. This is what I believe in. Mm-hmm. So let's say you were triggering me, I'm triggered, you're triggered. There are certain ways to communicate that thing, or not to communicate, or to just change the being, the trigger, to something else. There is a way. Yeah.
There is a way for sure. And like what you say is beautiful. And it's really like, as I see reality, it's really depends on how clear you are with the present moment.
Yeah.
Like the moment you are in the past or in the future thinking like, usually it involves like anxiety or whatever, like you are not here. And when you are here in the moment and like, if you're really here and I trigger you, you will not look at me. You will look at yourself. You will be like, okay, which part in me right now was triggered? What am I either lacking, or where am I not confident enough in myself or whatever? Mm-hmm. So I'm getting triggered from the other side, because as I see it, like the door to open, like to get people out from outside into our emotions, the key to this door hangs in us. Like nobody can come into your world and offend you without you allowing it in some sort. Okay, you know what? Let's take a moment and think about what I just said.
Yeah, let's take a moment.
Because I'm constantly trying to rearrange the way that I'm thinking to make it as conscious as possible in the moment, because I understand that a big part of the thoughts that we have in our minds are acquired and not really authentic to what we are really perceiving in the present moment.
It's an interesting thing, because I believe that sometimes if I have a thought about something in reality, let's say something classic, you see someone and you say, I'm not sure I feel connection to him or to her, just like that.
Yeah.
Just because maybe we looked at each other's eyes, maybe she or he, they didn't look at my eyes, I didn't feel enough intimacy the way I expecting to have, whatever the story I'm telling myself, all right? And it happened to me. Once I was testing it, I saw someone, I saw his behavior, I saw his face expression, I saw his body language, and I said, not the type of people that I would like to connect with.
Yeah.
Then I said, you know what? I want to test it with reality, this thought. And I went to him and I started to speak with him. And there was a very special moment when he looked into my eyes and he became vulnerable and he opened up.
Yeah.
And that changed my whole reality about him. So I like to activate it in my reality and not to make any assumptions, Yeah. I like to be with the belief that everyone has a goodwill. They're all moving between identities. You can change each person's identity by just being present by myself. It's crazy. It happened to me in a party like a few days ago. Like I was in a party and then there was a woman that I felt that she was a little bit disconnected. Something happened. I don't know. I spoke to her a little bit or something, or she didn't look into my eyes. She was not present, and I felt it. Then I was dancing, and I love when I'm dancing, I'm feeling very free. I'm not ashamed. I'm just feeling and flowing.
Yeah.
And then she looked at me and she smiled. And then I smiled to her, and then she moved her face again. And then I told her, can I have a second with you? Like, what's your name? She told me her name. I told her, you have a beautiful name. And then she couldn't look into my eyes. And I asked her, can you just for a moment, can we look at each other's eyes? At the moment that she looked into my eyes and I looked into her eyes, there was such a interesting, and I told her, I have no intention to start with you. It's not about starting. I don't want to start with you or I don't have any need. I'm not needy.
No intention.
No intention. I just feel you and I see what you're passing through. I'm not trying to be your therapist. It's just like a moment of being present with what reality reflects back to you, and that it's catching your eyes, because she was looking at me as well in a certain way. We looked at each other and she just started to cry immediately, just full of water. And then we had a beautiful conversation for 45 minutes. And that was the hype of my party, you know, that was the highlight for me.
Because when you are open enough with yourself to be vulnerable, people feel it from you.
Exactly.
You connect into the points that you know in yourself, and you allow them to experience the same emotions that you already are familiar with. And when they can be comfortable around you, because you are comfortable around yourself, you unlock something, they unlock something that you show them how to unlock in themselves.
Or not, or they just see parts in me that they see in themselves that they are still unlocked. Or the opposite side. I can see this part in me, her part in certain situation.
Do you remember the point in your life?
Remember?
The point in your life that you started thinking like that? That you understood that it's not only around you, that it's not only like the fact that you experience life.
It's all about me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's first of all, it's all about me.
It's all about me. First of all.
First of all, but like, do you remember the time when suddenly perception shifted and like, oh, I'm not the only human. Like everybody is around, like has a part of me inside them. I am part of something bigger than I am.
Yeah, definitely. When I finished my psychodrama studies, I learned so much. I learned how to be human being, how to change my shape in authentic way, how to speak up what I feel in a connected way, not to avoid things.
What even drew you to psychodrama? Let's begin this.
I was living in Berlin I speak 4 languages. I was living in Berlin for 4.5 years. Ich spreche auch Deutsch. And, I read a book about NLP, and then I went to visit in Israel and I studied NLP there. Afterwards, I came back afterwards in Israel, I met a girl that told me something about psychodrama after those studies. And I told her, what is psychodrama? She told me, I think it will work for you. Go speak with that facilitator. It's interesting. I had a conversation with someone, with my facilitator, and he told me, I think you can deal with the emotional things that will raise up. I'm not sure you're going to be a psychodrama facilitator, but your inner fire will light. This is exactly what happened. I just got to know myself better in a group dynamic. I saw the projections on me. I saw the transfers that's happening between all the relationships in the group. And that's amazing. This is what I'm doing today. And that helped me to understand, how do I look in front of a group? Which identities I bring up in a group? How do I change it? How do I shift things? How do groups shift things? How do I heal myself through a story that someone is passing? How do I see it from a side and I'm being healed by his story? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Very interesting.
It is very interesting. And like okay, so let's start from the beginning of it. Like, you were going into the first like psychodrama lessons that you took.
First psychodrama lesson.
And obviously you probably have tons of triggers at this point.
Oh, wow. I'm going into a psychodrama session, and I was the first one who was doing in my class. There was it was a program of psychodrama group facilitators for 3 years. So we were like an intimate group, 2 times a week, 12 hours in a room, all together with all the patterns, everything, all together as a group. First psychodrama session, I was not really open. I was not really authentic. I couldn't express things emotionally that I felt and to bring them outside in a connected way. I didn't know how to do it because my father never taught me how to do it. My mom neither, So first psychodrama session, what I remember, we were doing a picture from the past of something that happened to me between me and my parents. And we were reprocessing an emotional experience that was not processed well in my system, that I didn't know that was not processed well. And after many years that I didn't cry, I cried on that session like when I was 10 years old, and that was the opening up of the understanding that this thing works really good. All our life, we work from here.
Yeah.
But what's happening here? How do we express it? It's like sometimes when you meet someone, ask me, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
That's the only thing you need to experience right now.
Yeah.
I can, do you see my face expression? That's how I feel, for example. Or ask me, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
I feel confused. For example, I don't feel confused now, but in general, it's another way of expression. So I think that the word of let's speak about how we feel or how are you doing or what's up, it's a word that we are activating most of the time from here. But what's happening with our body gestures, our face expressions, our face mimics, that's the most authentic thing that a human being can express in a human being meeting. That's what I see.
Yeah.
It's the first thing. That's it. You don't need much more. You just need to look into the eyes. You ask something, body expression, it's the most authentic.
Yeah, it is. And just the ability, which easier said than done, but I live by the fact that the mind really has no answers and the heart has no questions, but just getting the awareness back from your mind to your heart and trying to navigate life from your heart. Can you share a little bit? What's your tools in coming back to the awareness that knows and doesn't ask? When you're thinking from your heart, all the answers because you know what your heart wants.
I think the hardest thing is to be with integrity and aligned with yourself, with what's happening here, and to know how to bring it out in a connected way.
Yeah.
This is, I think, one of the most difficult and challenging things to do.
Yeah.
Because as soon as somebody asks you a question, it goes to here.
Yeah.
Then you start to run on your mind, although even if you feel something, it's here.
Yeah.
And then if it goes from here to here, you need to have a few moments, you need to just, let's hold on, let's wait, freeze.
Yeah.
Before you act in the reality.
That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
No, take your time.
Automatic response. Take your time. We don't need to rush, even if the person wants a quick, because we're living in quick reality.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Instagram, you see everything is fast.
Yeah.
When is the moment that we are really waiting and posing our life situations and trying to see who is the being who is coming up, who's speaking without working from here to see how you feel? Yeah, it might look weird a little bit to some people, but I think that's the best thing to do, just to be authentic with what you feel, not to reply automatically, because when you feel a little bit your throat, it means that you're too much here.
And then after
awareness.
the first psychodrama lesson, you kind of understand that there's the things that you know, and there's the things that you don't know. But there's a lot of things that you don't know that you don't know.
I still don't know anything, There are so many things
And you went home after this session with the understanding that you have something to work on.
That I have so many things to work on that I don't know anything. Even if I think that I know the best, it's an identity that saying that I know the best, but it's just an identity. If I will go to a different field, I don't know anything.
Where do you think this identity is coming from?
I think maybe from trying to look confident or a lack of confidence in your life, or just trying to prove something, or maybe not trying to prove.
I think it's just easier for us as human beings. I think it's coming from a comfortable zone. When you are experiencing life from inside of your comfort zone, you are, I know that, I'm familiar with this, no problem, this is my field. Just to make you feel a little bit more comfortable in your knowledge, in your identity that you created for yourself, in the realms that your mind wants to explore. And then you're stepping out of it and you're continuing doing the psychodrama lessons. And guide me a little bit through the journey of you opening up to yourself.
What do you exactly mean?
I mean, like, you went to the psychodrama lesson and you cry there and you understand that you have things to work on. So you're coming back to the sessions.
Yeah, definitely. It was a program where I learned how to be a psychodrama group facilitator, a therapist, how to work with group dynamics. And I'm going there, and after each session, I go back to the ward, and how can I explain to people what I was just passing there? I can't in words. It's like emotional experiences that has no words, even if you try to explain. What
do you think are some of the things that most like helped you understand and get familiar a little bit with your vulnerability, with your authenticity? Like, what are some of the walls that you broke on the way into discovering yourself?
Wow, that's a very good question. I think one of the main things is to look at someone else's eyes, to see some things in myself, and to embrace that place. This is one of the highlights, I would say, that helped me in my healing process with every human being. Just let's accept being present, see what we feel, and just let it be. That's it. We don't need much, because if I'm coming from a place of I'm feeling comfortable with myself and comfortable enough to look into your eyes in intimacy, into me, you see, then I find it very beautiful and interesting. And that's why we're living for, just to have these experiences and to learn.
Yeah. And
I hope it makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense to someone, go and discover yourself.
It's not about someone, it's just about...
I understand. It completely makes sense, bro. Yeah. And at some point, okay, you finished your sessions, you finished your facilitator, like, group, like, teaching.
Yeah, my program, yeah.
And now you're coming to the other side and you want to teach.
What is the other side?
The other side of learning is teaching, isn't it? So now you're beginning to teach it. And like, even before you start teaching it, what are the first feelings that's coming up in you, like in your awareness, before you are going and wearing the hat of the teacher and about to explain it to someone else? Because you kind of need to understand something to a deep level in order to teach it, in order to give away from yourself.
So I will share something about maybe the here and now. Please. What's happening here and now. When I facilitate groups, sometimes I can take control and I can lead the group. Sometimes I can release control and let the group work with whatever is happening in the group. Sometimes I can work from my mind and be analytic. Sometimes I can work from my heart, and sometimes I can create something. I like to change. I like to change every time, not to stay the same one, to do a mirror to the group to see how I can change. And if the group sees that I can change, it gives them the potential to see that they can change as well their roles. Yeah. So I don't feel I'm wearing the classic hat of I'm the facilitator and listen to me. It's not at all like that. I will give you an example, a very interesting one. Once upon a time, I was facilitating a session back then in Israel. It was in a beautiful farm, and I had a session with a guy, young guy, 27 years old. And a session in psychodrama, it's a 1.5 hour session when we are doing a research on any topic, any life issue. It can be relationship, self-fulfillment. It can be whatever comes up. We were, for the first 45 minutes, I told him there are pillows. We use, in psychodrama, we use pillows, we use fabrics, we use fabrics that represents parts in us, that represent people. In that case, I told him, let's open the timeline. You're 27 years old. Let's open the timeline between 0 to 27. I want you to take pillows. We had like a lot of pillows, and each pillow will represent a meaningful moment that you remember from this timeline. The timeline that he was drawing spontaneously went in a circle way, not in a linear, although he was in a linear mind, very straightforward. And he started to take every pillow, that's a topic. Okay, let's continue, let's walk. Age 3, that's the topic. Age 4, 5, 6. We arrived to some point when he said, I don't remember, it's a black hole. And for me, it's like a gift. Wow, a black hole. Yeah. Long story short, we were continuing making a research, and suddenly, me as a facilitator, or as a human being, I feel that I have something in my throat and it feels to me like tears that are not coming out. Something feels stuck here. I stop the session and I tell him, I want to show you what we did until now. We went there, we were passing there, we changed roles, we were doing all this for 45 minutes. And I feel as well right now that I have tears in my throat that are not coming out. I'm not sure if it's connected to the session, but I just want to share it to see. I told him, is it connected in some way? He said, no, I don't think so. And then suddenly I had like an insight that came to me, a question, and I was asking him, when was the last time that you were crying? He told me I didn't cry for 9 years. That was the topic. How did I discover it? I connected to what I felt. I was not analytic anymore. I connected to what I felt. I shared it authentically. And from that path, something happened. And then we discovered what's the real topic, what is going on. And that was a beautiful moment. So that's another way of being authentic with integrity and not to try to be, I'm the facilitator, I know everything, you need to follow me. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you say, I don't know, let's not know. Let's just stay. Yeah.
So it's, first of all, that's a beautiful story. And like just being able to see that like, some people think that the moment you are a teacher, that's it, you're there for them. But even as a teacher, as a facilitator, your journey continues because you're evolving while teaching someone else how to get into themselves. You're getting new insights about yourself,
of course,
from other people. Like, and we will talk about it because you had an example that we talked a couple of weeks back. Like, but the thing is like, just being able, not only as a facilitator, but now when you are there with someone, either it's like personal or in a group setting, like you are also a space holder. Mm-hmm. And like, you gotta know yourself to some extent. Like you say, you feel the tears in your throat while he's not feeling it. But then the topic reveals itself that the guy didn't cry for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And do you remember another time that you were there for a group, but who was the one learning you felt was you? Like another thing that you discovered about yourself from teaching others?
It can happen at the same moment, but it's not something that for sure I will reveal it to the group unless it's supporting the group process. Yeah. Because I'm there for the group. Yeah. Yeah. It's like if I shared something, I feel I have throats in my throat. I have tears in my throat, and I could take that topic to myself, how I feel. No, it's not the point. Yeah. It's a point. The whole point is about helping the group and helping their process for things that I experience. So I might felt some things if, some things happen in the group in high volume or some triggers in conflicts. Yeah. But I never took it towards myself.
Such a beautiful practice to know and to practice that it's not about you.
I will give you another example.
Go for it.
If, let's say, somebody is coming with a topic that I know that I didn't solve that topic in myself, okay? Let's go to sexual abuse, for example. If someone comes, for example, with the topic of sexual abuse and a woman or a man, and in my past, I had an ex-girlfriend that was passing a sexual abuse, which is a real topic. And let's say I didn't solve that thing from the past and I'm still triggered by that. I will be authentic with her and I will say, I can't help you in that topic. I won't try to be the savior, the facilitator that know everything. I will be authentic with integrity. If there is a field that I cannot solve, it didn't happen. Yeah, but I'm aligned with what I can give and what I'm not, what I can help and what not, to be authentic. Yeah. Not to try to be, I know everything, I can help in any situation. No, there are things that I don't know.
Yeah, like, and a beautiful example that you gave me that if you're willing to share, like we talked like a month and a half, 2 months ago about a group that you had that you didn't kind of recognize, like that you were doing something that you're with a story. Do you want to share it?
Yeah, so long story short.
Doesn't need to be short.
That's what we share. No, I love this. And the long story short, you know?
It's a nice way.
In Hebrew, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I had a group, psychodrama group that I started with some warm-up exercises. That's what you do in psychodrama. It's a group it was a trained group. So it's a tricky group. People coming, going, it's not so stable. And I did some exercises warm-up exercises, and in one of the exercises, I did something that I thought that the group can go towards that direction, okay? But the group was not there. And then the whole group went on me. It means that they felt that I'm not supporting them and I did this on purpose. And how did you do it? And I was like, no, my intention was good. The next week, I went to that group and I shared with them authentically what I was doing. I opened that topic, but in a place or in a way that I showed them what are the reasons. They were all triggered, basically. And I saw that there is no end for that. So I decided to close the session. Then we started a new session the week afterwards. And then I really shared authentically from my heart why I was doing that, what was my thought, and I felt that you were on the stage and I was wrong. So I take responsibility. That's what I was doing. And that shifted the whole group totally because I was honest with the things that happened. I'm not perfect. I'm a simple human being. Yeah. It happened to me once since 7 or 8 years.
And where did it meet you, between you and yourself? Because this kind of thing, because if you're guiding a group, the group is a reflection of what's going on right now inside of you, you know. So there is I get why but like, you must, like, when you say you have the responsibility over the group, so the feeling of like them being triggered, but by what you did, but by what you try to do,
but this is
inside of you.
Yeah, but it's a mirror as well to reality.
Yeah.
You know, this is what happens in reality. And that's what I try to teach people. It's like a small lab where we're checking the relationship that happens. You can be triggered by the facilitator. You can be triggered by someone in the group. And some things can happen in a way that it's like a small lab.
And that's kind of like the goal, isn't it? To feel this trigger, that's what, when I see it logically, like psychodrama, you're trying to solve things with yourself while being free and authentic and vulnerable. And like, you want those things to rise in you, don't you?
I would try to explain it differently.
Please do.
I believe that through action, creativity, playfulness, and spontaneity, we can change our inner script. I've seen it happen in myself and I've seen it happen in others. There are roles that we adopt or we inherit from our life. There are roles that we are acting and we don't even know that we are acting them. And it's all about just being in a group and testing what's going on in a way or another. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to change the structure from structure to non-structure, just to flow and to move. It's like a DJ who's playing music to the crowd, to the audience. Yeah. This is how I see it in psychodrama. So there is a proper structure of we start with warm-ups, we start to create connection, we feel as a group connected, and then starting the encounters sometimes. Different encounters between human beings where you realize some things about yourself and about the other and about the whole group process. Sometimes in a group, I will give you another perspective. Sometimes in a group, someone can speak about sexuality. Let's say someone is speaking about sexuality and raising up that topic. And then the group is not continuing with that topic and changing the thing to another topic. Me as a facilitator who looks from a side about the group process, I can ask a question, for example, and say, it's very interesting to ask and to make a research why, when this person was sharing something about sexuality in a certain way, the group continued to another topic and didn't speak about sexuality.
Interesting.
As the group is avoiding about speaking about sexuality, maybe a perspective of how to see things. It's very interesting.
It is because like, it's a delicate art to deal with things that are outside of the comfort zone of people.
Absolutely.
But something about being like starting to learn how to be safe outside of your comfort zone is probably one of the best evolutionary tools that I know as a person, because you go out of the things that make you feel comfortable, outside of your specialties, and outside of like maybe like me as a DJ, if playing for a bigger crowd on a console that I don't know, in a place that I haven't played yet. I'm learning how to stay safe while getting outside of my comfort zone. And especially in things like psychodrama, it feels like the more you are being able to just understand that some of the subjects that you are going to explore will touch points that are not the most comfortable in you, but you're in a setting that you're with people that will not mock you on based on that, on your thoughts, on the subjects that are...
It can happen, by the way, because if we look at reality, I do have settings of we are not speaking about each other bad things. There are proper settings, but I mean, if a human being is triggered and he's saying something because that's him, a part of him, how do you deal with that? That's very interesting. I'm
going to ask you another thing.
Go ahead. Yeah, I had something that I wanted to share.
Go.
No. I had, but
left?
it just
okay.
Yeah.
It will come back. What I'm saying is this: like,
I have.
Go for it.
For me, psychodrama is less to understand things.
Yeah,
it's more to experience the emotional experiences that we are passing here and now, passing in the past, and that we will pass in the future. Because if in psychodrama we're able to go back to the past and to reprocess an emotional experience that was not processed well, and to go back to the present and to change that pattern and to move things rather than speak the whole time, and to act different roles, to act our mom, to act our dad, to act the fear. Choose someone from the group that can act the fear, and let's see you speaking with the fear. So you separate yourself from, I feel fear. A part of me feel fear. Now it's not in the mind, it's visual. In reality, you see the situation, you can change the situation, you can reshape that situation, you can go into roles, you can go out, you can look from a side. And that's, I feel, and I think it's the biggest healing of psychodrama, that you're able to change life situation, not from here, through actually visualizing, seeing, going in, going out, watching from a side, acting, being present, being disconnected, and just being on the stage of life. So if you're able to change some things in that small stage of life that's called psychodrama or group dynamic, you will be able to copy it to your real life, and to start and to make action in real life, because you practice on it. It's like try to go and to do handstand one day. You cannot. You need to practice again and again and again. It's a muscle. It's a muscle. Same as psychodrama. Yeah. You need to play that life situation again and again and again with a different pattern. Then you will get it, because you already start to do it. You did it. You don't think about, I'm acting it here and now, real life.
Beautiful. And like, that's exactly the point. Like, if you can take it from the psychodrama to your own life, working in front of yourself is a muscle. Again, stepping outside of your comfort zone is a muscle. And like, the more you will do it, the easier it will get. But if you at some point stop doing it, you will naturally draw back to your comfort zone. And like, through like psychodrama, do you have any recommendation for things that people can do with themselves to practice a little bit of this emotional side of like, maybe like some self practices that they can do with themselves, maybe in front of a mirror, to get themselves more comfortable, to step outside of this, this is who I am, that's what I can do. And
I have something interesting, something that comes out from my mind. Take a paper and write down as a title the roles that I'm playing in my life, the identities. Put some nice music for 8 minutes. And start to write all the roles that you're playing in your life. I will give some examples. For example, I'm a psychodrama group facilitator. I'm a neighbor. I'm Israeli. I'm French as well. I'm happy. I'm angry. I'm many things. So write everything that comes up to your mind. I'm a cousin. I'm a son. I'm whatever. Yeah. Write everything. After you write all the roles that comes up to your mind, try to circle the roles that promote you in your life and some roles that blocks you in your life. So it's like to have a map of who I am, but there is not only one who I am. There are many M. And when you see it, you can maybe try to see, oh, I was today here. You can see it's a different map of how to see reality, how to see yourselves. And through that way, I think things can progress on. I mean, I do it in psychodrama sessions, but I think it's a very interesting exercise.
And another thing that I wanted to highlight that you are starting to do is mentoring.
Yeah.
Kids. And like the first moment I saw you thinking about it, because I'm thinking about it like for years, like if we want to change the world at some point, the first step is to work on ourselves.
Definitely.
The second step is to work on the youth. You know, and just guide me before we get even into what it is that you're going to do with the kids. How did you get to the point in yourself that you feel like you're ready to allow a younger generation to face themselves and to grow and be the better version of themselves?
So I'm already doing it. Like I have a ninja class for kids, but it's not a typical ninja class because I bring there the whole idea behind, how can I explain it? Group dynamics.
Yeah.
How to know how to listen, not to give solutions. It's not only ninja class. I bring the psychodrama field into it. And I was working with kids in the sport field mixed with psychodrama, with therapy. I like that word. And then reality brought me some kids that want to have something different. Maybe a father figure who listens to them, who feels them, who helps them to be their better version that they want to be, or just to be present.
And even before, like, sorry to cut you off, but like, when you do something like that with a younger, like, generation, with kids that still didn't have society and the system to tell them what they are and what they're not. And like, if like the first voice that they're going to hear in their head is empowering and giving them, you know, like you can plant the seed of just.
Exactly. Just to give them life skills, to give them the right tools that we didn't maybe receive from our parents. Or
at some point we received because we are sitting here having this, but like just you being the channel from existence to give them the right voice to act. You know, if we had the attitude we have now when we were 9, like it's like
we will miss our childhood.
Probably.
That's what
but what I did want to ask you was, where does it meet you and the inner child that you have in yourself when you are able to help young kids? How do you feel about yourself when you're helping younger kids? What do you see in yourself that they have in them? Like the image of you as a younger kid, having someone to help. I'm going to rephrase it.
Go ahead. I feel you.
When you were young, needing attention and seeking something that you don't think like you have enough of. Like, I know that what I wanted to do is to be the adult that I needed when I was young. How does it feel for you being the adult that helped the younger kids?
I think it's a very beautiful and special role to be in it. And if I can support and be in giving and to help kids and adults through life situations and through the tools that I received from being present to being not present and to say, I'm not present, I'm disconnected even, then I will do it. I will help. It can be not only kids, it can be just everyone, you know, it's about just be open to the world and to see what offers you receive from the world and just to say, let's go, let's do it. Same way with the TV, you know. Recently, some mothers contacted me and told me that they want to have like mentoring for their son. Then I build a program that suits each kid with his own character, his own goals that he wants to achieve. Maybe it's a kid that has a lack of confidence. So how can we build that confidence, but not from jumping into the deep water the same way as the parents expect? Small steps that he can actually achieve, that he can see, imagine with passion, I can do it, and not by commanding or giving quick solutions. From integrity, connection, love, a lot of love, boundaries, and all the things that we're living as human beings, you know, just to be, you know.
And
So-
that's it.
sometimes I see it as friends for a journey, because through me they can pass my own journey, yeah, and I can pass their journey, and I can support and help them in their journey. And I wish I had someone in my when I was a kid that will come and highlight some things about me being seen or my needs.
And that's exactly the full circle. Because when you're helping these kids, you're ending up also helping yourself and the younger kid that you have in you. And just the sheer will to be there for others, to help, shows that you did go through this journey yourself in exploring yourself, but just the ability to be there for others and to help shape what it's like being the next generation of humans. That, I don't know, a lot of people see the world right now as a very chaotic and it falls apart and everything is bad and this and that. I've heard a lot about this perspective. But when I see people like you that want to shape like a younger generation and help and grow like bigger, better future, it gives me comfort, you know, because at the end of the day, life will be what we choose to make out of it. And when we have souls and people that are going around just trying to fix things, to help people, I'm very, very, again, relaxed and comfort around the fact that, again, people like you exist.
Yeah, me too. I'm so happy that there are people that,
It's
are
not only
giving-
about us.
No, it's not
It's
only
not
about
only
us.
about how much I can gain. And like, that's why I also love about
it's not about the money. I think it's just about, it will sound a little bit spiritual, but it's only about love in a way, you know?
expand.
Just expand, to be in love, and to just be good to others and to receive good, and just to flow, to continue life, you know? Like,
Bruh. Like one thing that I wanted to incorporate here is like I had a question that we just passed by. Like
yes, we're passing many things.
it's beautiful. I love
Yes,
it.
I love
It's
it
no
as well.
structure. It's all good.
No structure.
What I want is to know, like, what was the biggest difference in the group's mentality and the things that you've done when you were at Berlin to here in Copenhagen? Because the vibe is I would assume completely different. Like, what about this island made you stay in here, and what makes you feel like this is the place for you?
Woo! Intimacy. Absolutely intimacy. I think that I experience here intimacy in the highest volume that I experience, but in such a beautiful flavors and shapes, you know? It's like, imagine that you receive a nice juice, but you can change the flavors of the juice to different flavors, just like that. Yeah? I hope it makes sense. And kind of. It's funny. It can go. I know where it can go. I know how it sounds, but it's not there. It's not there.
I feel you.
And what keeps me on the island is the ability to be me, myself, my different versions, in an open way, to expand more, to feel the freedom that I never felt in the place where I came from, Israel. And no, it's okay. And yeah, I mean, I love my life here. I feel great, you know?
Bro, I think that's a good spot to cut this, because honestly, it does not get any greater than this, because again, I would say I appreciate you to a maximum level, because people that go inside themselves and shed those layers of fear and corruption and you know, like the power in humans that are more like, oh, I'm a part of a system and I need, you know, like the horses that only see up front and I need to, it's all for me, and stepping out of your own way and being there for others is commendable. And I really appreciate you as first of all, as a friend, as a brother, and as
Thank
a
you for having me here. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Here's for 5 months in the making. You're finally here. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
Copencast, guys.
Join the journey, stay for a while.